Happy Wednesday, man. Everybody have a good 4th. I hope you had a great 4th. Welcome back. Today I want to give you the, I can't even say it, Florida Treasure Coast market update and just give you some updates on the current market. It's changing a lot. We're seeing a lot of changes. I don't think it's really news to anybody that it's changing. Everybody sees it. It's softening for sellers. It's becoming a more approachable and inviting market for buyers. But really the question for me, because I'm not emotion driven, I am stats driven, is I want to see what those statistics look like so I can determine how much has it actually changed. A little bit, a lot of it. Let's check it out, right? So I'm going to share my screen here. Boom. And I'm going to open up the MLS. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to, I want to look up two big things here for you guys. Port St. Lucie, and we're going to look at solds. Let's start off a little bit different, all right? Let's start off with actives. Actives in Port St. Lucie, and I'm going to look at single-family detached homes. You can see right up here, we got 902 single-family homes that are currently for sale, right? Guys, I'm going to check back and forth, and I'm going to look at the comments. If you've got questions, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, go put those comments, questions, whatever it is in, and I'll address them at the end here. But we've got 902 actives. Less than 100 days ago, or roughly 3 months ago, we had 365, right? That means we have more than doubled. We've almost tripled the amount of inventory that we've had in a short amount of time. Now, I'll tell you, if you look at solds in the last 7 days, we've got 102, okay? So 102 divided by 7, we're selling an average of 14.57 homes a day. That is more than 3 months ago. 3 months ago, we were selling 70 to 80 homes a week. Now we're selling 102 homes, and this is a consistent number. I've seen it jump from that 70 to 80 range 3 months ago to maybe 90 to 105 now. So buyers are coming out in droves. They want to buy right now. So if you're a seller thinking there are no buyers, I'm telling you, you're wrong. If you're an agent, you're thinking this market's too tough, there are no buyers, you're wrong. There are more buyers. What's happening and what's leading to the softening right now is the fact that there are so many more sellers coming on than there are buyers buying. Even though buyers are still buying and they're buying at a greater rate, the amount of sellers coming on is outweighing it significantly, right? To the tune of an almost triple amount of inventory in less than 100 days. Pretty impressive. So we're selling 14.57 homes a day on average, 14.57. So let's take 902, the homes on the market currently, divided by 14.57, and you've got 61.9 days. That's how many days of inventory we have if we calculate it that way. There are different ways to calculate inventory. We could look at a 30-day running total, a 14-day. I'm looking at a 7-day. There are pros and cons to any one of those, but I'm looking at a 7-day, and we're looking at roughly 62 days of inventory. So what does that mean? If you've got a 90 to 120 days, right, 3 to 4 months of inventory, you're looking at a neutral market, right? Not really a strong buyer's market, not really a strong seller's market, a pretty neutral market. And in my opinion, the healthiest market you could want, right? But now we've gone from literally the mid to upper teens. There were days where we were in the 15 to 19 days worth of inventory for a while. And now we've gone up to 62 days in 3 months. It's gone fast, right? So the question is, not just, man, are we still at 62 days, which is not just a seller's market, but it's a good seller's market. But how quickly are we transitioning out of a seller's market and into a neutral market, right? It's moving fast and it's moving every single day. It hasn't paused. So the question is, when is it going to slow down? What is it going to take to slow down? And if it's still moving this quickly, is it truly a seller's market or is it just statistically a seller's market? And I don't know the answer to that. Right? All I want to do is share stats with you. Right now, I'll tell you, when I put a listing on the market 6 months ago, within 3-4 days, I mean, we were so cocky as real estate agents, you would write in the brokerage remarks, hey, you got 3 days to look at it. We're accepting offers on day 4 at noon. Take it or leave it. And that was it. And you could do that confidently because you knew you were going to have 30, 40, 50 showings and you were going to get double digits offers. Now, if I've got a home that's really well priced, it shows well, we got professional photos, we're marketing the crap out of it. I'm making hundreds of phone calls to the neighbors. We got Google pay-per-click ads. We got Facebook funnel ads. We got all kinds of things going on. I'm probably going to get 6-8 showings in the first week. I might get an offer, but it's getting to the point where with 61 days of inventory, homes are selling in 30, 60, 90 days now. instead of 3 days. It's much different, right? It's important to know. It's important to know as a seller because expectation management is important. If you have to sell in the next week or two, you can't be at the higher end of the spectrum on prices. It's probably not going to happen. Could it happen? Absolutely. But if time is as important or more important than price, it's important to know these transitions and how they're working. Before, you could be 20 grand over, you'll still sell. You might get asking price, maybe even less, but you're going to get an offer. It's going to be a strong offer. Now you might not get the offer. You've got to position yourself well. You've got to be with a negotiating agent, and you've got to be with someone who actually physically gets out there and works to sell your property. It's now becoming more challenging, which in my opinion is awesome because that's going to separate those who are with average agents and those who are with amazing agents. So in my opinion, I'm excited about this, right? From a buyer's standpoint, you got to realize, yes, the market's shifting. But I can tell you from my experience in 2008, sellers don't latch on to that instantly. It takes some time. So I remember in 2008, it took maybe 6 to 12 months for sellers to get on board and start to say, yeah, the market shifted. I got to drop my price and be realistic. Right? So it's going to take some time. So don't come in thinking you're going to get a home 20 grand underpriced. I'm not saying it won't happen. What I'm saying is it's probably going to take some time for sellers to drop their price and be more realistic with the changing markets, right? So just be aware of that. So looking at, what do we got here? Okay, let's move it back up to actives. Let's look at actives. What I want to look at, these 902, let's put them in a list. Everything was selling in 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 days, right? Everything. Let's see how long some of these homes have been on. I'm going to put it on days on market, descending. So we've got the highest ones up front. Let's look at this, right? 1,200 days, 1,000 days, 1,000 days. Blah, 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 blah. Let's go down to 100 days. Let's go down to 90 days, right? That's 3 months right here. Okay, so 76 out of the 902 have been on for 3 months or more. Remember, a lot of people too will be on for 60 to 90 days and they'll remove the listing and they'll put it on maybe a week or two from now. So don't forget about those, right? There are more that we're not seeing here. Let's look at 60 days. 60 days. Again, I'm looking at this column right here in the center. Coming down to 60 days. Guys, I'm going to look this up and then I'm going to come back and check and see if we've got any comments here. At 60 days, we've got 156 out of 902. 156 divided by 902. That means 17% of our inventory has been on for 2 months or more. That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal, right? So let's come down and see how many have sat for 30 days or longer. And then the next thing I'm going to look at is those 102 that sold. Let's go see how long they're sitting before they sell. Okay, here we go. 30 days or more, you're looking at 340 divided by 902 is 37.7%, roughly a third, a little over a third of the market has been on for a month or more, right? And remember, listings are pouring onto the market. So buyers, one big plus is 90 days ago, I was hearing, man, there are no choices. I got to pick between this turd or that turd, and that's it. That's the only options I get. Well, now your options have multiplied by almost 3. So if you had 3 options before, now you got 9. If you had 6 before, now you got 18. It's a pretty awesome deal to experience, right? So a lot of great things for buyers. We're also seeing for all of you VA and FHA buyers, a lot of sellers were saying, turn around and go the other way. I'm not going to deal with you. Now we can get FHA and VA offers accepted at a much greater rate because we're not seeing 15 offers anymore. We're seeing 1, 2 offers, right? Homes are sitting for a little bit longer. So let's go back to this list, edit search. I'm going to come down to sold. And we're looking in the last week at sales. We got 102. Let's see. I want to look at 2 things. Number 1, how long were they on the market? Descending. Okay. So the one that was on the market the longest was on for 95 days. And then there's a gap down to 76, 75. And then there's another gap, 63. So of 102 homes, only 1 was on for more than 90 days. And it was barely over at 95. How many were over 60? 5 out of 102. There's going to be a point here. I'm going to tell you shortly. How many have been on for 30 days or more? 17 out of 102. That means, Oh, man, now I got to do math. 85 out of 102. Let's do that math. 85 divided by 102. I'm going to bet it's 84%. 83.3%. 83.3% sold in 30 days or less. I should say less than 30 days. What does that tell me as a salesperson, as somebody who's analyzing this data and trying to relay helpful, valuable information to my sellers? It tells me that you have to position your home correctly right away. Don't overprice it by 20, 30,000. Price it correctly. Don't wait to get those photos, those professional photos, guys. You have to have professional photos on day 4. Don't wait. Get them on day 1. And I'll tell you why. A lot of people, when they put their homes on the market, it gets sent out through all these, they're called IDX feeds, right? To sites like Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, Realtor, Coldwell Banker, Remax, eXp Realty, Keller Williams. All these sites are pulling from local MLS data. And a lot of people, buyers, are set up on auto emails with specific criteria, the most serious buyers, so that when those homes pop on, they don't have to go look for them. They're automatically emailed or texted to them. That's the most serious buyers. So if you've got a home that doesn't have all the photos up, or the photos aren't professional, but hey, we're going to get professional photos soon, or you're overpriced by 20, 30 grand, they're either, if you're overpriced, they might not even get the email because you don't fall within the criteria, or they are going to get the email, but those photos aren't correct, or they're not as good as they could be, right? Or they're going to be in a couple days. So now people are going to make judgments based on you. They're going to delete your listing, and when you update those photos or update your price, they might not see it. So you've lost the best, most excited buyers in the market, right? You have to position this home perfectly on day 1. It's critical. It's absolutely critical, okay? Second thing I want to look at is, let's go over here to LP divided by SP is list price divided by sales price. What that tells me is the percentage of original asking price that you actually got. This person right here got 119% of original asking price. That's awesome. Great work. This person got 117, 115, 113. Let's go down to 100% or more. Let's go to 101. And I'll tell you, some of these hundreds are like 100.6 or 100.3. So they're over asking as well. But this one right here at 101, 42 out of 102, so roughly 40%, are getting over asking still. They're still getting over asking, 40% in a softening market. And guys, these are the last 7 days. This is in the last 2 months, 3 months. This is 7 days. How many are getting 100% or more? Right here, 71 out of 102. So 70% are getting full asking price. 30% are getting less than asking price. Okay? And I'll tell you, if we were to go in and look at these that are getting less, the majority of them have some issue. It's either it needs to be updated, it's got a repair issue, it's got a roof that's 19 years old, and the insurance is through the roof. Some major thing that's holding a lot of buyers away from it, and it gave that one buyer who was willing to put the offer in the ability to come in low. So, I don't want you to think you're going to get a steal in this market. The way you get it under is you've got to be attracted to homes that have issues, right? If you're not attracted to homes that have issues, you've got a lot of buyers to the tune of 102 every 7 days or 14.57 a day coming after homes, and they're coming after the hottest homes, right? So guys, there is a phenomenal update of what we got going on in the market. If you've got any questions, comments, concerns, if there's anything you want me to touch on in the future, let me know. But the whole purpose of this, the goal is to keep you guys updated with the market around you. We're hearing so many different rumors. A lot of them are true, some of them aren't true, but to know the extent and the data behind it, in my opinion, is some of the most helpful, most valuable information that we could have as both buyers or sellers and even agents in this market. Guys, I hope you have a phenomenal Wednesday and an even better week. Take care.